Part 1. White Clouds. Verdant Rain Moon. Tower of Black Winds. The ceaseless rains that satiate the verdant landscape of Fodlan are accompanied by fierce winds and mighty roars of thunder. This abundance of rain, sparkling as it falls against beams of emerging sunlight, is a constant reminder to the people of Fodlan that nature is ever wild and unpredictable. For when the rain finally does take pause, the clouds part and give way to a glorious rainbow.
I have a new mission for you, Professor. I would like for you to take your students into Kingdom territory to eliminate some thieves.
They stole a hero's relic from House Gautier of the Holy Kingdom of Fargus, the Lance of Ruin. Their leader's name is Miklan. He is apparently a disowned son of House Gautier. I believe it had something to do with his lack of a crest. Such happenings are fairly common within the kingdom.
The Crestless cannot unleash the goddess's power even if they possess a relic. Nonetheless, they are still capable of simply wielding those weapons.
The hero's relics are immensely powerful weapons. We must meet this threat with adequate force. Unfortunately, most of the Knights of Seiros are away from the monastery, purging the apostates of the Western Church. So we are entrusting you with this mission. After all, you wield the Sword of the Creator, which is more than capable of opposing any relic.
The Sword of the Creator is a powerful weapon well beyond the other relics. You have nothing to fear. However, to ensure that no harm comes to the students, we will also send the monastery's most skilled individuals to aid you.
I must remind you that you are expected to conduct yourself in a manner befitting the wielder of that holy sword. Also, you should know that Professor Hanneman has been looking for you. That is all.
Professor, I heard about our mission for this month. A thief with a hero's relic is worrisome, but with you at our side, I'm certain we can handle him. After all, you have the Sword of the Creator. It was allegedly wielded by Nemesis, the King of Liberation. If the legends are true, you hold the power to stand against entire armies. A band of thieves should be nothing. Even the most elite Imperial forces or the Knights of Seiros could not hope to defeat you. Is that so? Even if those forces were to hurt someone precious to you? Can you say with full confidence that you would not turn your sword on them if that were to happen? You know, your power does not lie solely in the Sword of the Creator. You are stronger and more terrifying than you realize. Professor, when we leave the monastery, will you still think of yourself as my teacher? Never mind. I'm being thoughtless with my words. For now, let's just focus on the problem at hand.
Good of you to come, Professor. I've heard much about you lately. Specifically, that you are able to awaken the Sword of the Creator's power. Thusly, it seems the true nature of your crest has been uncovered. I had, of course, seen your crest before. However, at first, I failed to recognize its true nature. Eventually, it dawned on me that what is visible is perhaps merely a small part of a greater whole. In other words, your crest is too significant to be detected when using normal instruments. After this discovery, I began researching crests that might fit that description, which allowed for a temporary hypothesis. However, I could not be certain. The crest my conclusions led me to was far too unusual. A crest thought to have disappeared from this world in the millennium since the fall of Nemesis, the King of Liberation. The Crest of Flames. That is what you possess. Your ability to wield the Sword of the Creator has unequivocally proven my hypothesis. A legendary power, dormant since time immemorial and now resurrected. There can be no doubt that this ancient power resides within you.
Bob! Save!
A ghost, perhaps? No, that is surely not the case. What is that look upon your face? I am no ghost, if that is what was on your mind.
No. Who's there? Professor, what are you doing here? Oh? Perhaps I was talking in my sleep. So you heard me then. Yes, it was a nightmare. I've had them since I was a child. Stupid, pointless dreams I can't control. It's terribly frustrating. No, they're just worthless dreams of the past. Talking about it won't change a thing. I had a feeling you'd say that. I suppose I could try, but only if you swear not to tell a soul. I appreciate it. I dream of my older brother, paralyzed, helpless. My older sister crying for help that never came. The youngest babbling words beyond meaning. I see my family dying slowly, waiting in the darkest depths for a glimmer of light. I once had 10 siblings, 8 older and 2 younger. Such a large family, and yet I became the heir to the throne. Do you know why? Every last one of them was crippled by disease, or lost their mind, or died. I was the only one left who could inherit the throne. Things kept getting worse. The darkness kept getting darker. In the end, I was the only one who survived. The nightmares are a reminder to never forget, to never allow such terrible things to happen again. Even now, I'm the only one who can carry the weight of the Adrestian Empire. The future of the Empire, of everything, depends on me. I shared more than I intended to. I suppose there's something in the air tonight. I've never told anyone about my past before. Please, forget I said anything. Sleep well, my teacher.
thank you for your invitation. To what do I owe this surprise? Thank you. Oh, what fun! Huh? Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Huh? Nah. Oh. Thanks for the treat. Come by the infirmary anytime you need anything. I'll be waiting, Professor.
Sometimes I wonder if your life could have taken you down a different path. If you had never met me and entered my service, you might have had a more peaceful...
A more tedious path. Inconsequential and spoiled rotten, like so many other nobles? Never. My duty to you is no mere obligation. I chose this. I had thought that would be obvious to you.
I understand you well, better than anyone. But when I see you at the monastery, studying with the others, it makes me wonder what kind of life you might have had without me. That's all.
Such a life may have had its appeal. I thought I'd left my years of carefree innocence behind me. But I cannot deny that I find myself enjoying my time at the monastery.
I feel the same way.
That enjoyment, however, is only thanks to you. Standing by your side is all that truly matters to me.
I see. Then I won't speak of such things again. If it's really what you want, I'll gladly keep you by my side. The path I must walk is soaked in blood. It's a path that can lead to madness, can snatch away one's future, and can even take one's life. And the pool of blood at my feet is growing larger. Those stains can never be washed clean.
Please leave the violence to me. A leader must be seen as pure, above the fray. Allow me to paint the path that lies before you red with the blood of your enemies. I will do it gladly.
All right, time for some more... Oh, Petra. Hi.
Caspar, do you want to train with each other?
Yeah, sure.
You have had new training recently, and great improvements. I want great improvement too. Will you give me help?
Well, hey, look at that. You pay more attention than I gave you credit for. I have been trying new training methods. They're definitely paying off. My movements are much sharper lately, more precise.
I am knowing that. I want that too. You teach, I learn. We both get more strength. It will be greatness.
All right. I guess we can give it a shot. Petra?
Yes, Caspar?
No, never mind, sorry. I was just thinking about something else. Nothing at all, let's train.
I heard a question in your voice. Say it.
No, it's really nothing. Don't worry about it.
Okay, I will not be worrying. Can we begin the training?
Fine. We can talk about it if you insist. You can stop pretending like you don't know.
What am I knowing?
About my father.
Your father? He is of the military in the Empire. I hear he has great skill.
No, not that. Well, it's kind of about that. I'm talking about when Dagda and Bridget invaded the Empire. My father led the Empire's army that fended off the invaders. Your father was in that battle. Did you really not know? My father killed yours.
How long have you had this knowing?
I just found out recently. I had no idea before then. But it's all I've been able to think about since.
So, now you have the truth.
Petra? Damn it. What am I supposed to do now?
Petra. Industrious as ever, I see.
Hello, Hubert. Yes, I am trying to be industrious. I must be working hard to improve my position. Right now, it is not a good one.
Even accounting for that, your efforts are impressive. I wish a little of you would rub off on certain people here. One troublesome slouch in particular.
Rub? I will not be rubbing on anyone.
Not literally. I never would have imagined you would adjust so well to life in Fodlan. When I first met you, you couldn't understand a single word of the language. You had the look of a cornered animal. So much so I thought you'd grown up in the wild.
I had more youth then, and the experience was terrifying. My grandfather ordered me to go to Fodlan with suddenness. I was stolen to a strange land filled with strange people. The treatment I was receiving was like I was a strange beast.
It is unfortunate, but while you were called our guest, you were actually a hostage. You were meant to be insurance that Bridget would not restore its alliance with Dagda and attack us. The Empire required leverage, and after all, you are the Princess of Bridget.
It gave me sadness to leave my home. But I am not unhappy that I came to the Empire. I have learned much understanding from the outside world. My experience has made me become who I am. And meeting you and Lady Edelgard has had great value for me.
I admire your spirit in the face of adversity. You set a strong example to follow. And there is much more adversity to come.
Bernadetta, if you have a moment, I would like to discuss what happened before.
My nemesis! The hour of fate arrives. Help!
I am not here to hurt you. You need not even open the door. Just listen to me.
I don't have to open the door? Is this a truce? Okay. I like truces.
Thank you. I would like to apologize for sticking my nose into your business the way I did. I thought you might be unhappy all cooped up in there, and that maybe I could help. But I've had time to reflect on what you said, and I realize I was mistaken.
Oh, thanks for caring, but I'm fine actually.
I see that. I suppose that is what I'm trying to say. I should not have pushed you to do something that you did not wish to do. And for me to frighten you like that? That was unbecoming conduct for a noble.
Maybe a little bit.
Frankly, I am embarrassed by my behavior. I disgraced myself. As for my injury, you need not feel guilty or afraid. The sprain was a result of my own thoughtlessness, not anything you did. I have always strived to be a good person, but I suppose all that striving was for nothing. I have failed in my duty as a noble.
Ferdinand?
Yes, Bernadetta?
I don't really know much about this sort of thing, but you shouldn't say things like that about yourself. It wasn't all your fault, you know. I'm to blame too. I hurt you, and I'm sorry.
Really, it is fine. It healed quickly.
And it wasn't for nothing either.
I am not so sure.
I do like my time alone. Actually, it's more of a need. But you're right. I also need to venture out every once in a while. Maybe if I work as hard as you do, I can try it a little more.
Yes, keep working at it. You are already much more outgoing than you used to be.
When I mess up, or even when it's just a bad day, it's hard for me to step outside. I'm too scared. But the next day, I try again, because I know that one mistake doesn't ruin everything. So you're still... I mean, just because you... That doesn't mean... I don't know how to put it, but that's how it is. So, the end.
What a graceful end to the conversation.
Hey! Come on, that was serious! At least I got you to laugh.
Completely unreasonable. How will I see to this?
Hubie, what are you doing here?
A routine matter. No cause for concern.
Ah, so it's something to do with 80 then.
And?
She really is all you ever think about, isn't she? Look, I know you're doing all this so that she'll like you, but if you go too far, she'll end up pushing you away. Maybe even hate you.
This has nothing to do with swaying Lady Edelgard's sentiments. I am simply her humble servant. I do what is in her best interest. Whether she cares for me or not is irrelevant.
It really doesn't look that way to me. I bet you'd follow any order Adi gave if you thought it would make her like you. Am I right?
Any order? What a thing to suggest. But the answer is no. I will decline any directive that I deem would not be beneficial to her.
Is that right? So, just for example, if Adi commanded you to find yourself a suitable wife, would you do it?
If it would benefit her in some way for me to marry, then yes, I would marry.
It's easy to say that now, with no bridal party in sight. But if it was the day of the wedding? Nah, I don't believe that.
I don't care what you believe. My only wish is to see Lady Edelgard fulfill her ambitions. All other matters pale in comparison.
Hubie, pale in comparison? You've seen too many operas. I don't think you understand how the world works. At all.
And I don't care what you think either. I would make any sacrifice to support Lady Edelgard. It's a shame you've never experienced such devotion.
You're right. I don't have anyone like that right now. But maybe someday I will.
Then maybe someday you'll understand. Until then, we will never see eye to eye. Now, if you will excuse me, I have much to do.
Hubie, I don't get you. Although I do find your point of view just fascinating.
I do believe a nap is in order.
Ah, this is lovely. Just feel that breeze.
Dorothea, whatever are you doing here?
I was thinking of relaxing here, but it looks as if someone else is lounging in my spot already. Taking a nap in public like this? Really, Lynn. The nobles look down on such behavior.
You do know I am of noble birth.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just teasing. You never do act very noble, though. Why is that?
Each person must follow their own way. This is how I prefer to live. Even if some of the more pretentious nobles like to poke fun at my ways.
Doesn't that bother you? I mean, really? It doesn't hurt your pride or anything?
What use is pride? It doesn't feed nor clothe you. It offers no warmth on a cold night.
First time I've heard a noble say something like that.
Well, most nobles are... what is the polite way to say it? Fools. Yes, they are fools. As for myself, my father is the Minister of Domestic Affairs, and he has pride enough for the both of us. For example, did you know he and the Minister of Military Affairs cannot get along, although they value each other greatly? His pride gets in the way, so he can't make amends. That is why there is discord between civil ministers and military officers in the Empire. And so pride serves no good purpose in politics either. So tell me, what use is it?
I wonder if bad blood between civil and military leaders is somewhat unavoidable. The Minister of Domestic Affairs is in charge of all civil officials, so if they just give in easily, their subordinates would lose respect, right? I get the feeling that if your pride isn't equal to the responsibility you bear, then you aren't fit to lead. Also, I happen to think pride can be quite charming.
And how necessary is charm? It just gets in the way of living your life.
If you lack charm, nobody will give you a second glance.
Right, which means more time for napping.
Lynn, you can't really believe what you're saying, can you?
Ferdinand? Our professor is wanting to see you. He has much concentration right now. I will wait for him to be finished reading.
Diplomacy has an effect upon weapons development. Yes, that makes sense. Oh, Petra! How long have you been there?
A short time. You were devoting all of your attention to that book.
Forgive me, I was fully absorbed in my reading. I see you have been reading as well. Anything interesting?
I am studying the history of Fodlan.
A history book. What a keen student you are. And it's about House Hresfelg. Certainly a stimulating topic.
I am wishing to learn all about Fodlan. What is the book you are reading?
Oh, this? This relates to a little hobby of mine. The regional history of weapons development in Fodlan. Militaries have to adapt their weapons according to terrain and climate. And they have to keep up with technologies in other regions. It's very interesting.
Yes, it is interesting. I see why you would be enjoying that kind of reading.
Oh, does that excite your curiosity too? Perhaps you would care to read more about it then. This is just one of 18 volumes, and our library has the entire collection.
I give you my gratitude. Research of weapons could be a good reference for me. Oh, please take my apologies. I was meaning to tell you that our professor is wanting to see you.
Oh, it is not like you to forget something. I suppose I ought to be going then.
Yes, it is a rarity that I forget something. But it is not impossible.
Ah, Dorothea! The dining hall seems so much brighter with you here.
Ferdy, I must say you are quite adept with flattery. Please, give me some more.
Flattery? No, I was not... There you go with that attitude again. Why do you reserve such cold treatment for me and me alone? Do you hate me, Dorothea? Or have you some other reason to avoid my company?
I underestimated you. I assumed your noble upbringing had dulled your perception. But you got it right on your first try. I hate you.
Huh, I was right. Might I ask why you find me so despicable? I can scarcely guess.
Don't waste another minute thinking about it.
That will not do. I do not think you would hate a person for no reason.
Perhaps. How's this? If you can guess why, I'll let you know if you're right. The brains of us common folk are so simple, it should be pretty easy for a big shot noble to sort out.
Very well. I cannot walk away from a challenge. I have no choice but to chance a guess. You are always making fun, calling me a big shot and so forth. Perhaps you think all nobles are... No, it cannot be that simple.
Oh? What can't be that simple?
Please, will you not give me a clue?
Well, let me see. A good clue? I know. It's because you're like a bee. That ought to be enough of a clue. So long, Ferdy.
A bee? I haven't the slightest. Perhaps because I am such a diligent worker?
A stone? A stone. I do not understand. Yet as I think of it, the pounding in my chest grows faster still. But is that me? Or is it you? I'm not secretly eating cake. Okay. What's Bernie doing right now? Oh, fine. You got me. Keep it a secret, all right?
It's awful, just awful what happened with the rite of rebirth. The infirmary. Well, it was a mess. Things are finally calm again, and so I've come here to unwind. Let me tell you, I put all of my knowledge to use keeping those kids alive. Still, the truth of it is that when someone faces death for the first time, well, they figure out who they are. They learn if they can do it again. We can't lose them, Professor. Not to battle or to cowardice. If you can keep them going, then I will too.
No. Why is that fish so still? Wait, is it swimming sideways? Perhaps it is resigned to its woeful fate of being plucked from the water and eaten. Ah, Professor, you are so outgoing with all of the students. I would like to have more opportunities to connect with you, though I am certain my brother would disapprove. Might you help me with a favor? Maybe.
Could you help me out?
Hey!
Hello there.
Right.
I could use your help.
Greetings, Professor. Nothing to report. Oh, come to think of it, last month there was something to report, wasn't there? Thanks to you, I hear that everything was resolved. I never realized that bandits had entered. I'm not a great guard after all, am I? I hope you will forgive me one day.
Knew I could count on you. Hey there. Is this it? There you go. Come back anytime.
Professor, please leave Sylvain alone for the time being. The thing is, the bandit's leader who stole the relic is Sylvain's disinherited older brother.
I have a request. Hail, Professor. If I may introduce myself, I am Gilbert. My life has been spent as a dedicated knight. I am to accompany you on your assignment. I may have slowed a step in recent years, but I pledge to you the full extent of my abilities. No, Professor. The pleasure is all mine, I assure you.
I have heard that someone from House Gautier, one of the Kingdom of Fargus's noble families, is causing some sort of commotion. What a complete disgrace to the nobility.
Hey.
I would be liking that greatly.
This is nearly as delicious as Mother's cooking. I would happily eat this every day.
You there!
For a hero's relic to be stolen, it's unheard of.
And just last month, the sword of the Creator was almost stolen too.
Also quite unheard of. What impudence.
For House Gautier to invite us onto their land, they must be desperate. But at least we'll have the stalwart knights ready to stand around and watch us do all the work.
Thank you. I'm glad you called me here. Thank you. This is lovely. No. Are you sure? Thank you for the treat. This was fun. I hope you'll invite me again. For a hero's...
But at least we...
Some people are unhappy because they don't have the crest they want. And some are unhappy because they have a crest they never asked for. Oh. Some people and some are. Yes.
The coffin of Saros in the Holy Mausoleum should have held her remains. Instead, it held the sword of the Creator. What could it mean?
Quite so. The head of the Western Church holds the title of bishop. That's not as distinguished as an archbishop, such as Lady Rhea, but it still comes with a fair amount of authority. If someone in that position plotted an assassination, I cannot help but think it must have been instigated by some outside force. There are bishops in the Eastern Church as well, but to speak frankly, they do not have much impact. They are under the influence of both the Archbishop and the Leicester Alliance, so their ability to voice grievances is quite limited.
You acquitted yourself honorably last month. To think they'd go into the Holy Mausoleum and assault the Goddess Tower. I cannot imagine the Western Church was acting on its own. Someone must have been helping them. As for the masked knight who escaped, his days are numbered. I hope we find him soon, so I can kill him myself.
I am Rodrigue Achille Fraudarius. I bear the great honor of serving as a lord in the kingdom of Fargus. I have come in Margrave Gautier's stead to retrieve their stolen relic. However, as I hear it, a group of students is to attend to this matter. I sincerely hope no harm comes to any of them. Professor.
Heya.
I can't believe my own brother is the leader of the bandits. House Gautier is my true home. And his. Please, Professor. He really is one of the worst people I've ever known. But we share the same blood. We're still family.
Professor.
Oh. That man I walked past earlier, that wasn't Lord Rodrigue, was it? House Fraldarius is a powerful noble family, linked to the founding of Fargus. Lord Rodrigue, its current leader, is a magnificent warrior. He's known as the Shield of Fargus. A dozen or so years ago, during the Northern Campaign in Srang, he performed splendidly as the king's right hand. Come to think of it, wasn't there someone from House Fraldarius amongst this year's students?
This has been my first time to the Kingdom's North. I hear the people of North are cold and have much loneliness. Professor, I hear you have worked as a mercenary in the Kingdom. Did you find joy in this? You cannot remember? Is that having possibility? I have amazement.
I heard a relic was stolen. If this had something to do with a family conflict, I don't think I could choose a side. What if it's some kind of powerful weapon? I want one too. I know relics aren't easy to come by, but I'd still like to get my hands on one. Yeah, that's definitely mine. You really saved me with this. I owe you one, Professor. Yeah, that's definitely mine. You really saved me with this. I owe you one, Professor.
So, you have a crest too, eh, Professor? Does that mean you're descended from nobility? You've certainly got the look for it. I sure do wish there were more nobles like you, Professor. A teacher, a mercenary, and so very mysterious. How could a girl ever get enough? Thank you, Professor. Why, thank you so much. Isn't it nice taking a moment to relax? Why, thank you so much. Smells good. Yeah. 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 That was a lovely cup of tea. Thank you, Professor. Please call me again. Are you sure? Thank you, I love it.
Swinging a sword about in the Holy Mausoleum? The potential for damage is too great to imagine. I sincerely hope the saints' coffins were not damaged. Were you using magic? I've heard you weren't, but it's torture not being able to go inside the Holy Mausoleum for an entire year.
Professor, if you're heading to the kingdom, I would recommend taking a coat. It's chilly, even at this time of year. It also rains a fair bit. Don't get caught out there without protection, or you're sure to catch a cold. Huh?
I thought school life would be peaceful and quiet, with a sprinkle of drama to keep things interesting. But since you arrived, it's been one thing after another. Is that just a coincidence, I wonder? Oh, I was just kidding. Anyway, as I said before, I do like having a little drama in my life. Aristocrats are fools, allowing their lives to be dictated by their crests. Though, I suppose I am much the same in that regard. Yes, I'm actually very big.
That reminds me. The Leicester Alliance is governed through roundtable conferences between the 5 most prominent allied dukes, the 5 great lords. First and foremost is Duke Regan, the Alliance's leader. Joining him are the heads of House Goneril, House Gloucester, and House Ordelia. Lastly, there is the newest addition, Margrave Edmund. These 5 each have voting power in the conferences. Before House Edmund, it was House Daphne that was counted amongst the 5. However, it is said that the head of that family relinquished their vote to House Edmund, which had only recently risen to significance.
Hey, Professor. Don't you think everyone's making too big a fuss over these crests, or heroes' relics, or whatever they're called? How important can that stuff really be? Personally, I don't even care that I don't have a crest. I'll take muscles over crests any day. Heck, I'll take muscles over a hot meal. Actually...
I am sorry that the kingdom's unrest did not stop with Lord Lonato. Professor, the hero's relics are incredibly powerful. Please, be on your guard.
Your defeat was inevitable. Now you know your limits. Witness my power. Well, how was that? Now you know your limits.
The Western Church, the Central Church. They believe in the same goddess, but oppose one another. Fodlan is a complicated place.
Mercedes. Her face looks familiar.
Hello.
Hey there.
Right.
Okay.
I've had a chance to spar with Gilbert of the Knights of Seros before. I couldn't get a single strike in. If that man is accompanying you on your assignment, you can rest assured that no harm will come to you. To be honest, he kind of reminds me of someone. But no, it must be my imagination. right?
Isn't it strange? Saint Seros' body was missing from her coffin, but they found a sword in its place. Do you think she moved from her coffin and left the sword behind?
So the whole plan to attack the monastery was some plot devised by the Western Church? That means they used Lenato. What right do they have to drag a good man like him into their schemes?
You have helped me so much.
Need something? This one? You're all set. 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 This one? This one? You're all... See you again soon.
Right. You guys have it bad in your own way. But believe me when I say, we've got it bad too. With all that happened last month, a great many knights were dispatched to the Western Church. And now we must set out for the Eastern Church, located in the far east of the Leicester Alliance. If I must die in Alliance territory, I wish it wasn't in the mountains in the middle of nowhere. I'd much rather go on a sightseeing trip to Deirdre. Oh, you don't know? Deirdre is House Regan's domain. It's called the Aquatic Capital.
Hey!
That's right.
Yes.
Professor! Hey, Professor, what's going on? A suspicious man? Where? Oh, is that him? What do you think he's up to? Never mind that. Let's get him. Keep watch? It's so boring. My instincts tell me that he's up to no good, and my instincts are never wrong. Come on, let's get him before he has a chance to strike. Huh? Oh, it leads to the plaza where the kids play. There's no way I'm letting this guy get anywhere near those kids.
Caspar, why did you disobey your professor?
Well,
I am not seeking excuses from you. I asked because I want you to consider your actions and apologize for them. It just so happens that you were correct in your assumption that this man was a villain. If that were not so, he would not have chosen to take his own life upon seeing you advancing toward him.
Great! So I was...
But, because of your actions, that is all we know. There is no way for us to know who he was, what he was planning to do, or if he has allies lurking about. The only lead we have is a scorpion tattooed on his arm. If this indicates that he was a member of an underground organization, we have no way of dealing with it. Are you prepared to be held responsible if his group commits a serious crime? Oh, I couldn't possibly.
What are you talking about, Professor? We didn't do anything wrong. Those kids might have been in danger if we didn't act. I couldn't just stand by and let that happen.
Some people are in hat and some aren't. What's this?
The coffin instead. How could you possibly think that is mine? Go ask someone else.
Quite so. That's right. What the?
Professor. Gerald was looking for you. It seems he has gone off somewhere. If he is not in his room, then surely someone has seen him. Ask around. I have something to ask of you. I have something to ask of you.
You must be rather bewildered by the power that was hidden within. However, know that I believe in you. I have no doubt that you will use that power justly. You will most certainly fulfill the grand destiny that the goddess has seen fit to grant you. May I ask a favor of you?
Professor, are you looking for Captain Gerald? I just saw him in the Knight's Hall a little while ago. He was talking with a female knight, but I didn't get a good look at who she was. Oh, that's mine! Thanks so much for finding it.
Oh my! The Crest of Flames? Could it really? Yes, the actual Crest of Flames! Ha ha ha! No, that is quite enough. I should compose myself. I must remain objective in my research. Objective, professional. The scandal with the Western Church troubles me. We cannot afford to let ourselves be swept along, and yet... I can't believe I left this behind. Thank you so much for retrieving it.
Don't you think Professor Hanneman's been acting a bit strange? Maybe he's made some kind of big discovery.
Maybe.
The assassination attempt on Lady Rhea, the theft of a hero's relic. I am up to my ears in foul news of recent. Speaking of, there's a terrifying rumor swirling around Garreg Mach these days. Apparently, a spirit of death wielding a huge scythe has been kidnapping young maidens. Will the madness never end?
Hi.
Professor.
Were you using magic? I've heard you weren't, but... Ugh, it's torture not being... Were you using magic?
Okay.
Professor!
Hey.
Wow, thank you so much! Thank you! What?
Quite so.
Gerald? He said something about visiting a grave. There's a graveyard attached to the monastery, so you'll probably find him there. I can't remember where the graveyard is, but I bet Sedith knows.
I wanted to ask you to join me, but I couldn't find you. So, here I am. I was thinking we should visit your mother. She's resting beneath this humble grave. Oh, of course you would ask that. I wouldn't know where to begin. I suppose I haven't talked much about her. She was gentle and smart. Oh, so smart. A wonderful cook. Always kind to everyone. And she loved flowers. Whenever I brought her back an unusual flower, her face would light up. I cherish those memories. I can't count how many times she made me happy just by smiling. And she smiled the most when she was pregnant with you. She died right after you were born. She wasn't able to spend much time with you. But she loved you with all her heart. That's the truest thing I know. Never forget it. This ring is the only keepsake I have of her. In time, it will be yours. One day, I hope you'll give this ring to someone you love as well as I love her.
Well done. You have my thanks.
Were you using... Were you using magic? I've heard you weren't, but... Ugh, it's torture not being able... I'll gladly... Were you using magic?
That's so.
Everything... I got it? You're quite the motivator, Professor. You have my thank... Your guide... I have under... You are... You have... You have... Nothing. Praise it. I still... I'm getting close.
May I ask? I am not sure...
Professor.
Great weather today. Perfect for shutting yourself inside, don't you think? I'm glad you get it. With great weather like this, there'll be no one inside to bother us. I love feeling like I'm all alone in the world. Oh, that. Well, I guess I can tell you, Professor. My father's obsessed with money. He's only ever seen me as bait for a rich husband. To train me to be a good, submissive wife, he'd do things like tie me to a chair and leave me there all day, challenging me to stay quiet. I tried hard to do as he asked. Honestly, I did. But before I knew it, I just couldn't bring myself to leave my room anymore. I just had this overwhelming feeling of fear all the time. No matter how hard I tried, my father never thought I was good enough. After that, it was just constant scolding. He couldn't say 2 words to me without mentioning how useless I was. An unmarriageable girl. My life was isolated, to say the least. I wasn't allowed to play with other kids, let alone make friends. Soon, I stopped wanting that. I was happiest alone, but even that made him mad. And when he tried to drag me outside, I kicked and screamed so much, I seriously hurt myself. He's calmed down a bit in recent years. His constant torment was replaced with complete indifference. He mostly acts like I don't exist now. If you can believe it, I was basically kidnapped. My mother ordered an attendant to stuff me in a bag while I was sleeping. By the time I figured out what was going on, I was already here. For a while, I was sure I was going to die. But here I am. Look at me, still breathing. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get you down talking like that about my past. Just forget everything I told you. There's no point in talking about myself anyway. Idiot! Oh, this is why everyone hates you, Bernie! What? No, it's not... Oh, Professor! How can you be so kind to me? I don't deserve it. I'm sorry. Please don't look at me.
Nothing is impossible for us.
It's you. What a relief. Look, Professor, we did great.
I won't forget all I've learned.
The battlefield has much to teach.
As expected.
I'm not setting a very good example.
I think I got it. Thanks. I did. I got it.
Seems simple enough.
I'll get that. Thanks. Nate.
Professor!
Hello, Professor. You seem to be in good health. Of course. Doesn't seem intimidated. No, not at all. It's just that I find myself a little concerned for your well-being. You see, Lady Edelgard has taken something of an interest in you. Don't be flippant. There is something you need to understand about the role I play here. One of my many duties is to determine potential advantages and potential threats to Her Highness. If you prove yourself useful to Lady Edelgard, then all will be well. If you pose a threat, I shall have to dispose of you. Yes, this is no joke. While I may be a student here, I am her servant first and foremost. Therefore, if an untimely demise is not to your liking, you would do well to demonstrate your utility with all haste. I should warn you that I am far less compromising than Lady Edelgard. Do not be at ease merely because you stand in her good graces for the time being. Ah, such confidence. I'm beginning to see why you caught her eye. My family, House Vestra, has been sworn to House Resvelg for generations. Since the dawn of the Empire, we have worked to protect the Emperor by any means necessary, both in the open and in the shadows. If you incur our wrath, you will see just what I mean.
Dear Goddess, I ask for guidance. Professor, I suppose you came by to pray too? I see. That's why I'm here too. Oh, nothing specific. I only call upon the goddess to give thanks, or perhaps to ask for protection. Anyhow, I should be on my way. Okay. I'm sorry. I don't really know what to say. I'm not very good at talking to people. The truth is, I didn't interact with people too often before I came here. Oh, no particular reason. I'm simply not very good at it. That's just how I am. Thank you. I'm sorry. You shouldn't waste your time worrying about me. Please, just ignore me. I, have to be going now. Goodbye, Professor.
Thanks for inviting me. Thanks. This is really nice. I see. Yeah. 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 away anything that's still usable, okay? I'll take whatever you don't need. No. Thanks for the tea. Invite me by again sometime.
Amazing, no?
My efforts were not in vain.
One step before the next step.
Impressive. Thanks.
I have success!
You're looking pretty tired, Linhart. I think you could use a little more of the fighting spirit.
I believe you have enough fighting spirit for the both of us.
Enough? There's no such thing! You need as much as you can get if you're gonna train.
I'd rather pace myself. You're becoming too much like your father. I still recall with startling clarity the time he forced me to do some training.
I remember your father wasn't too happy about that. Our fathers actually got into a fight over it.
They hate one another so much. I simply cannot fathom what's wrong with the two of them.
I wish they'd just have it out already. One big fight to settle things. My father would win, obviously, but it would still be fun to watch.
That would be rather cruel. I don't think anyone in Fodlan could beat up your father. My father does have the height advantage, though.
Height advantage? What does that matter?
When two opponents are of similar strength, the one with the height advantage wins. It's pure math.
Whoever forces the other to submit wins. That's how fighting works. It has nothing to do with height.
Brute strength alone doesn't decide a fight. And taller people have longer limbs, too. Longer limbs equates to a longer reach. Taller people can hit you from farther away. Oh, and they have more leg strength. There's also that... Well, I'm bored explaining this. I think you get my point.
No, I don't get it. Now you're talking about limb length and reach? None of that matters when you're up close and brawling.
You know, I'm going to agree with you just so I don't have to keep talking.
If you've got something else to say, then come out and say it. Actually, you know what? Forget this. I'll prove it to you myself. Some of those new knights look pretty tall. I'll fight one just for you.
And off he goes.
They're all so strong I couldn't land a single blow.
So it's as I said then, isn't it? The tallest fighter has the advantage, and my father could beat yours in a fight.
You came at just the right time, Edelgard.
Is that so?
Yes, I have a story for you. It's about a pair of nobles living about 100 years after the founding of the Adrestian Empire. One was Derek von Eyre. People called him the Warrior Prime Minister. He bravely led soldiers into battle and mowed down his enemies. And the other
Was the emperor of the time. She wagered the throne in a duel against Derek and won. Why don't we do what our ancestors did and have a little duel ourselves? That's what you were going to say. But the answer is no.
You interrupted me! The Warrior Prime Minister used a dramatic line to propose the duel, and you did not allow me to say it!
My apologies, Ferdinand.
Well, at any rate, you were correct in surmising that I was about to challenge you. But you were rather blunt in your refusal.
Ferdinand, control yourself. When will you tire of challenging me in pointless competitions?
I can quit now if you insist on it. I will not challenge you again.
You expect me to believe that?
Why do you look so surprised? Of course it is not a valid duel unless both parties are willing. Now that you have refused outright, I must come up with some other way of getting that which I seek.
I'm afraid to ask what you could possibly mean by that.
Only that I will find some other way of showing everyone that I am superior to you. I will write a handbill listing your accomplishments, alongside my own more impressive accomplishments. Copyists will produce thousands of these pamphlets and distribute them far and wide. Then everyone will know about my...
This has to stop. Perhaps I should have ended things with a duel after all. Training again. You're certainly working hard, Caspar.
Oh, Edelgard! You scared me. You should have said something.
I did, but no matter. What has you training with such intensity? It's never good to neglect one's training, but overdoing it is ill-advised as well. You could already give any student here a battle they wouldn't soon forget.
You think so? Well, thanks. I appreciate that. I can't really stop training, though. I gotta get better if I expect to get anywhere in this world.
If memory serves, you're the second son of House Burgleys, right?
That's right. My older brother is the heir, and there are already too many mouths to feed in our family, so I can't count on any support. I pretty much have to make it on my own, you know?
I understand. It's difficult being born a noble. Those who inherit everything also inherit great burdens, but the same can be said of those who inherit nothing.
What are you talking about? I don't have any troubles. Who cares if I don't inherit anything? It just means I get to cut a path to my own future. You know what your problem is, Edelgard? You always have to make everything about you.
Are you picking a fight, Caspar?
Hey, now come on. I didn't mean to be disrespectful. Always happy to fight, though, if that's what you want.
I have no desire to bicker with you. Good luck with your training. Goodbye.
What was that about? I'll never understand her.
Oh, Caspar, just who I was hoping to see. I have a tiny little request if you have time to help me.
I'm always happy to help. What can I do for you?
That is exactly what I was hoping to hear. Would you mind coming along to my room?
Your room? Okay. This isn't what I had in mind.
Come on, a big, strong guy like you. This is easy. Lift up the cabinet, please. I need to dust behind it.
There's still more to do. Why do you care so much about keeping this place clean? It's just a dorm room.
Were you raised in a stable? Leaving this place a mess wouldn't be fair to the next person who uses it. In fact, I think once we're done with this room, we should clean up your room as well.
Yeah, I don't think so. I have some actual training to do.
Oh, come to think of it, I have a date myself. The fella I'm seeing has quite a charming face, rich family, and I assume a tolerable personality.
Don't you get tired of spending time with all these guys who have tolerable personalities?
Oh, it gets tedious at times. You must listen to them talk, for one thing. But it's important for my future.
That's how I see my training. I guess it's pretty much the same thing.
I don't know if that's a comparison you really want to make.
Why not? Seems about right to me. Sure, I'm a noble, but I'm also a second son. I don't have anything coming to me. Why do you think I'm always training so much? I need to prove myself on the battlefield if I plan on making it anywhere in this world. I know you don't have noble status or wealth, so you're putting in the effort to marry well, right? See? Pretty much the same thing.
I suppose. It would be nice if everyone saw it that way. Well then, Caspar, I need to get ready for my date. But shall we both agree to work hard for our futures?
Absolutely. I just hope our efforts are worth it.
A stone? Yet as I think, but is that...
So much!
What is it? Did I do something wrong?
Thanks so much! Hot, hot, hot! Yeah! 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 This was great! No. Hi.
I am trusting you. You must be. However, you will most.
You. How are you managing the Sword of the Creator? No problem. You will need the sword's power on your next mission.
Well...
Captain Gerald was all furrowed brow earlier. If there's a problem, I want to help any way I can. I did, but he just dodged the question.
What the? That's right.
This has been my first time to the King. Professor, you cannot... I have gratitude. You have my thanks for giving me your spare time. I have gratitude. It's needing sweetness. Yes. I have regret. What? Yes. I am in agreement. I will be waiting happily for you to be inviting me again.
Hey.
I appreciate any good meal, but nothing beats enjoying my favorite food.
I'm sorry. I know I'm boring company.
Why is that fish so...
Perhaps, I would like to have more opportunities to connect with you. Though I'm certain my brother would disapprove. Wow! I am delighted! Wow! I shall take it! I shall take it! I shall take it!
Hello there. This one, yes? I thank you. This one, yes? I thank you. This one, yes? I thank you. Return soon, please.
Hey, welcome.
come again.
Welcome. This one? Thank you. This one? Thank you. This one? Thank you. Please come again.
Hey!
Hey there. Is this it? There you go. Is this it? Is this it? There you go. Come back anytime.
Professor, the thing is, the bandit... Hi, Professor. I've actually got...
Hello there. Right.
I have a request. I may have slowed... I may have slowed a step in recent years.
Some people and some are in Thank you very much. Did you need something from me? Thank you very much. Delicious. Huh? Yes. 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 No. Thank you very much for the tea. I look forward to doing this again. Oh, thank you. What's this? What's this?
Quite so.
Were you using... I'll gladly take this.
Right. Right.
Excuse me, Professor. May I have a moment of your time? Ah, wonderful. I was hoping you might enlighten me. About yourself, that is. You see, I happen to be quite curious about you. Well, because there is something different about you. You possess an air of mystery. I could not help but notice when first we met. I am intrigued, to say the least. I find it rather difficult to put into words. Were I to wax poetic, I would say you remind me of the sea. Have you ever been, Professor? The sea is vast, boundless. On the surface, all seems still. Yet beneath that stillness, it is unfathomably deep. Within, it teems with life. Yet without, one is lucky to glimpse a fleeting shadow. And yet, all one must do is cast a line to grasp hold of all that life. You cannot see it at a glance, but it is there all the same. About fish, of course. Oh, bother. I got sidetracked, didn't I? Right. About the sea. During a storm, the once calm waters become mighty enough to overturn even the vastest ships. Not unlike you. You are calm. You carry yourself with poise. Yet you wield great power. My brother is uncertain of you, however. He referred to you as a youth of dubious origin. Oh, but please do not think ill of him. He is incredibly dedicated to his work. So surely you understand why he would have doubts about one of whom he knows so little. Nobody even seems to know your age. Incidentally, how old are you? Aha! I suspect that if you choose not to say, you must be quite young. Looking at you, it is quite difficult for me to determine. I wonder... Could you be younger than your own students? Who? Me? Well, I am roughly the same age as the other youths here. Be that as it may, it is simply not the case. Oh, by the way, I have actually been considering enrolling in the academy myself, but my brother will not allow it. He is a touch overprotective at times. Oh, my apologies. I am sure you have much work to do. I will not keep you any longer. We must speak again sometime, if that would be all right. Have a lovely day.
not setting a very good example.
This weather is unfortunate. Those villagers were right when they said a storm was brewing. But they were more afraid of an attack than they were of the storm. Let's end this quickly.
The thieves have taken Conan Tower as their base. There it is in the distance.
Miklon must be more skilled than your average thief to have overtaken a place like that.
This area was the site of a massive battle several hundred years ago, when invasions from the north were at their peak. This tower was built for both surveillance and defense. It will be difficult to seize it.
You know your history, Gilbert. If I recall correctly, you're from the kingdom, aren't you?
I left my home long ago. If you have any questions about the mission, I'd be happy to answer them. House Gautier has always placed great importance on whether or not someone bears a crest. Margrave Gautier has 2 sons. A crest never manifested for his eldest. It's not hard to imagine why he left and wound up in this sort of life.
There's no reason that crests should have the power to dictate someone's destiny. Don't you agree, Gilbert? He was just another victim of cruel fate. Forsaken by the goddess, who now demands his execution.
The enemy is close by. We're almost to the top floor.
They have nowhere left to flee, so the situation is in our favor. All we have to do is chase them down.
Stay focused.
Put me in there!
Oh no.
did I expect?
I will prevail.
I am Ferdinand von Eyre.
That's my cue. I will get the victory.
Battle. As you wish.
Who, me?
Captain's in trouble. Hurry up, you fools!
Enemies approach from the lower floors. Watch the rear flank.
The glory of progress.
For Lady Edelgard.
Each battle, a chance to grow. our chance.
Now!
This is my duty.
Only a fool challenges me. This can't be right.
It's dangerous. Thanks.
Thank you.
Let's think carefully.
Oh no. I needed that.
I'm no stranger to battle.
I have an idea. This is our chance.
Child! Come! You're soft!
Now's our chance. Let's think carefully.
Gotta use your head sometimes. Gotta do what you gotta do.
I cannot lose.
Not enough. Child's play.
Luck is always on my side.
How humiliating. I still have a long way to go.
Well, like what you see?
Here we go! Attack them from both sides!
It's an ambush! Not enough! This is my duty. I cannot lose. I have...
Got him! Whoa, did I get stronger?
One step at a time.
One more success.
Only a fool challenges me.
I'd rather be napping. It's simple logic.
I thank you.
Your defeat was inevitable.
Gotta use your head sometimes.
one? I did!
You will be slapped down!
Oh! Witness Bridget Pride.
Failure is not an option.
You are nothing. The nobles.
Can't get ahead of myself.
Thanks for helping.
Thanks.
Put me in there.
Well, how was that?
So, you think you can take the lance from me, huh? I'll kill you. I'll kill every last one of you!
Not bad for your kind. A bunch of spoiled, rotten children.
What the hell?
Oh my. Is this your first time fighting such a thing? Then listen well to what I say. An evil power has caused them to grow quite large. Their life force is beyond a mortal like yourself. You cannot win unless you fell them twice, or even thrice. Even if you've cornered one, you cannot let your guard down. Those things are even worse when threatened. Can you see that barrier? It is surrounded by great power. You must break through to fight that thing. A strong attack or gambit might help to break through more quickly. If you can break the barrier, that power will have nowhere else to go, and that will likely cause confusion for that thing. It cannot counter while confused, which means that is the best time to attack. If you break down all of their barriers, not only will they be confused, they will not be able to move for a short while. Without the power flowing around them, they will not be able to restore their barriers. You might even be able to get something from them. They have such might that they will not fear you alone. But a battalion could prove useful on that front. Attack them with a gambit to draw their attention and force them to target you. Be on your guard when they have realized their full power. The damage caused at times like that is not contained to just one spot. Once they have charged some power up, their barriers will be restored. You really must pay close attention to those things. Distract them with a gambit, or just take them down before they can attack. In any case, think carefully before you act. But you should be conquering that thing instead of talking to me. If you're out of questions, get over there and fight!
Such is the fate of one whose life is corrupted by a crest stone. How pitiable. The least we can do is put an end to his suffering. Unexpected! You'll be repaid. Well done.
Now's our chance.
I will get the victory.
As you wish.
Need backup?
Marvel at our strategy.
Much needed. Stay focused.
An ambitious plan.
It's time.
Goddess, the beast is gone, yet Miklon and the lance remain.
It is done. Let's retrieve the lance and depart at once. Thank you.
That man. His form was changed. It was as though that lance was swallowing him whole. Upon that sight, it makes sense that your students were upset. I wonder if those relics truly hide such power. Yet even still, that power seems familiar. That form as well. As one who wields the sword of the Creator, does that mean you possess that power too?
Professor, you have returned. The goddess is indeed generous with her divine protection. I have already heard Gilbert's report about what happened. See to it that you keep what transpired at the tower to yourself. People would lose faith in the nobles should rumors spread of one using a relic and transforming into a monster. All regions of Fodland would fall into chaos. We must avoid that at all costs. Please ensure the students who accompanied you understand that as well. Have I made myself clear? His transformation into a black beast was nothing short of divine punishment from the goddess. Punishment for someone arrogant and foolish enough to use a hero's relic even though they were unworthy and unqualified. Of course, that is why we rushed to recover it. Sadly, we did not arrive in time. The church will formally return the lance to House Gautier, if you would. You have my gratitude. I can see that I was right to trust you with this. Please report back. I will tell you of your new mission for the coming moon at that time.
I assume the Archbishop was pleased with your performance. Did you return the Lance of Ruin? I keep thinking about what Gilbert told us. Yes, Miklon was discarded by his family because he was born without a crest. Eventually, he became a masterful thief and gathered enough ruffians to capture a fortress. Right or wrong, he was a gifted leader. He could have been a great asset to Fodlan. What a waste! It's true that a crest can increase your magical abilities and allow you to wield the full might of a hero's relic. But one cannot measure a leader's worth based solely on whether or not they bear a crest. There are plenty of talented people in this world without one. People believe crests are blessings from the goddess, that they're necessary to maintain order in Fodlan. But the people are wrong. Crests are to blame for this brutal, irrational world we live in. Their power is granted only to a select few, whom we elevate and allow to rule the world. Have you ever wondered if the only way to create a truly free world is to dispense with the goddess and the crests? Do that, and people will have no choice but to rise and fall by their own merits.
Lady Edelgard, I question whether you revealed too much to the professor.
Perhaps I did.
It is true that our teacher possesses a rare talent. Even I cannot deny it. The ability to wield the sword of the Creator is concerning.
I've already explained this to you. My power alone is insufficient. That's why I'm borrowing power from those people. If our teacher can wield it in my stead, I believe that would be for the best.
It's a risk. A dangerous one. You leave me no choice but to take matters into my own hands. Please excuse me.
I can't hide from the truth. I can't do all that I must on my own. If all I can rely on is my own ambition, my path won't be easy. Is it so risky to reach out my hand? Father, I swear I will not stop until I succeed. My regret, my grief, my whole life, I've thrown it all away into the darkness.
Professor, you have done well to complete such a difficult task. You have shown exceptional skill in leading your students. I am forever grateful for the safe return of the hero's relic. Just as I expected, you have mastered the sword of the Creator. Now then, I shall tell you about your mission for the coming month.
Archbishop!
Seteth, what troubles you?
Flayn is missing. I cannot find her anywhere. Professor, have you seen Flayn recently? I have searched everywhere. Where could she be? She may be in danger. Oh no, 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 what am I to do?
Calm yourself, Seteth. Professor, we shall continue our discussion another time.
Reach for